We could even be safer if we eliminated weight cutting. The weight cutting is the #1 health issue in the sport, in my opinion.
Yeah.
#2 is the brain damage and the impact and the, broken bones and things along those lines. But the #1 is weight cutting because it's so unnecessary. It's such an issue that needs to be addressed because these guys want to compete at the highest weight possible. So, do you know how it works?
No.
Okay, say if you were going to compete in the 170-pound division, but you actually weighed 190,
right.
What you would do is you would wait until you would follow a pretty strict diet, keep your body weight and your fat at a certain level, and then when it comes down to a few days before, you would dehydrate yourself pretty radically, and then rehydrate yourself scientifically using there's a bunch of guys like George Lockhart, guys who are experts in this, and then they'll give you the exact right amount of nutrients, right amount of potassium and zinc, and they want to replenish all of your electrolytes and get you in a perfect balance, but you're still compromised. And if you don't have a guy like a George Lockhart or someone who's a real expert in nutrition and understands biology and can get you back into that position, you're most likely going to compete compromised, but you're going to accept that significant compromising because you're going to be a bigger person than the person you're fighting. But they also, in boxing in particular, the vast majority of deaths have occurred in the lighter weight divisions. And a lot of it is not just because of the head trauma, but because it's head trauma to someone who's dehydrated.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's like it sucks, and it's contrary to what martial arts is supposed to be about. Martial arts is supposed to be about skill for skill. It's not supposed to be about cheating. And the cheating thing is like you're dehydrating yourself. It's like sanctioned cheating. You're saying you're 170 pounds, but you're like if you say the 170-pound champion and get on the scale, he's 193. What the fuck's going on? This isn't a 170-pound guy.
But how frustrating if I want to meet you in a different class. Like I wanted to fight you my whole life, but we're really separated.
Well, you can lose weight the right way. Look, if somebody wants to compete at 170 pounds, in my humble opinion, they should actually weigh 170 pounds. My friend Cam Haynes is a ultramarathon runner, and one of the things that he does when he gets ready for ultramarathons is he loses body weight, but he doesn't have any body weight to lose. So he'll burn 3,000 calories and eat 2,000 calories, and that's how he loses weight. He lets his body eat itself. So he gets down to the 160s, and that's when he runs these gigantic long races, like 240 miles. But I know he's done this. You can do this. Like, you don't have to dehydrate yourself, but they choose to dehydrate themselves because they replenish and then they get much bigger when they get inside the octagon. When he's 165, he's actually 165. That's just what he weighs, and that's the best way to run 240 miles. So he does it through discipline. But these guys that are doing it, and it's not their fault because it's already been established. It's a part of the sport. It's been there for years and years and years, and it's sanctioned cheating, and everybody does it. And it's the worst part of the sport because it's really damaging to your kidneys, terrible for your organs. Your body starts to shut down when you do it too often. Your body doesn't want to lose weight anymore, so it starts to really hold on to that water. And guys fall asleep and pass out and bang their heads off walls, and fights get canceled. Like championship level fights get canceled because guys black out and crack their head off the wall. And this has happened in the UFC before. It's just super unnecessary and unfortunate. And part of it is because there's not enough weight classes. There's there's 155, then there's 170. The difference between 155 and 170 is not just 15 pounds. Because if you actually weigh 155 and this guy's dropping down to 170, that motherfucker could be 190 plus.
Right.
And he's just figuring out a way to cut weight to get down to there. And that happens all the time. So you're dealing with, it could be 25, 30 pounds difference between you two guys if you actually weigh what the weight class is when you get into the octagon. So people are forced to drop weight. They're forced to go lower. If they want to compete at a world-class level, they're forced to take this extra risk. And it could be mitigated. It could all be stopped by hydration tests. The UFC could step in. All the athletic commissions could step in and say, enough is enough. You're going to fight at what you weigh, and we're going to give you more weight classes so you can figure out what's the weight for you to be best at. And I hope it doesn't take someone dying before they figure this out, because it's one of those things that people have done, like circumcision. They've done it forever, so they just keep doing it. But if they just started doing it tomorrow, people would be like, why did you cut that baby's dick? Are you fucking crazy? Well, I've always cut babies' dicks. I've been cutting babies' dicks for years. Like, this is, right? It's
you need more of a Yiddish accent.
You get used to it. Well, it's not just Yiddish. I mean, I'm Catholic. My dick got cut. It's like practiced across the board under the guise of, being sanitary. It's prevention of AIDS. There's all these stupid reasons to cut dicks. Like, really, it's just a tradition that doesn't make any goddamn sense. Now, it's not the best analogy to weight cutting.